Alright, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm starting to believe I'm actually horrible at this game. Maybe I was never good. It was all just a dream. Uh, so because I didn't, um, because I didn't go into a new area, uh, saving started me at the beginning of this area. So I gotta go through a little bit of stuff again, but hopefully it shouldn't take too long. That's what we say. I'll probably fail numerous times. Gotta scratch the back. What? Is he already peeking out the window?
Return to your positions. Tighten security.
Crap.
Understood. All units exercise extreme caution.
Encounter
What?
the enemy requesting.
Maybe not doing great. Yeah, let's just get down there before anything happens again. My word. Holy crap, I don't have many rations.
Return to your positions. Tighten security.
Ah,
All units exercise extreme caution.
no. Okay, gotta use the analog stick for this. Alright, so what to talk about today? So I was thinking about a series where they're not exclusive, like they're multi-platform, but they're always viewed as being a series for a specific console. Oh, one weird example of that is Call of Duty, specifically during like the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. Because even though that was a multi-platform release, due to various things such as like the timed exclusive releases of the DLC, like they'd always show up on Xbox. I don't remember if it was like a couple weeks or a couple months early, but they were first on Xbox. And also, although Sony was doing decent with its online, Xbox already had more experience, so Sony was kind of playing catch up there. So you ended up having more people who played it on Xbox than on PlayStation, and as a result, it was always kind of seen as an Xbox series. But one I like is Resident Evil, which for some reason was seen as a PlayStation series, despite the fact that it was never exclusive.
Personnel, return to your stations.
I could be wrong here. I believe the first game was released on both PlayStation and the Saturn, and then the second and third game were ported to the Nintendo 64 and also to the Dreamcast. But after the first two games, since they were more oh, looks like we got a cutscene.
Olga, Snake, he's here. In Shell 1.
My father had some unfinished business with him.
Olga, calm yourself. Feelings.
Screw your plan. I've been waiting for this day for 2 years, and I will send him to the bottom of the ocean, right next to my old man.
Not here. Don't talk that way about one of your own.
He's not one of my own. He left my father to die, remember?
Olga, we'll talk later. We need to get started on the final checks for the unit.
All right. I'm headed back there.
The upper connecting bridge to Shell 1 is down.
What about the chopper?
The cam-off is out of action. Take the oil fence from strut L.
I'll tell my men to start pulling out.
Not yet. Their retrieval comes last. The intruder's still at large.
Snake.
What about the other man?
He's got luck on his side, certainly.
He survived that explosion. Listen, Olga, the code confirmation is in 1 hour. Keep the president alive until then.
I know. No one gets in here. Turn the currents on.
Of course.
The currents. Oh, that sounds bad.
High voltage currents on.
The door stays shut unless the president manages to take out that circuit panel from inside the room. And it's no job for bare hands.
All right. Come back immediately.
Looks like
One
big
more
buttons
thing.
to push.
What?
We leave for Russia when this business is done. I want half the money for that.
Of course. That was part of the agreement.
He sounds trustworthy.
We start living for ourselves.
Oh, my
after
word.
this. If there's anyone who wants to stay here, I want you to take good care of them.
Gladly. Gerlukovich soldiers are the cream of the crop.
It's free.
What happened to rebuilding Mother Russia?
The old man is dead. The world is a different place now.
It's your life.
Just as a reminder, I'm going to say this again, one last time. Don't try anything on us.
The feeling is mutual.
Sound like good friends.
I'm in front of the room where they're keeping the president.
Everything all right?
No
Not a
sign of
chance.
flooding, but I can't get close to the door. The floor is electrified.
Don't test it.
Not a
You'll be
chance.
bacon.
Any suggestions?
Remember the shadow.
Yeah,
Moses
Super
VR
Spy
training?
Raiden. Hey, the
out
floor is
the circuit
electricity.
panel?
Well, you probably
Right.
shouldn't touch
But
it.
there's no way into the room.
Try ventilation ducts.
Yeah, I think I see one.
Look for a remote control
Why don't
missile
you do
launcher.
it?
You can guide it through the
Why
duct
don't you
into
do
the
it?
room.
Then target the circuit panel.
Then
Got it.
Right. But make sure you don't hit the president.
Yeah, hitting a president with a
The
remote
president is
control
wired with
missile,
nanomachines.
probably.
If we know the frequency, I can raise him.
We've tried that repeatedly, but there's no response. It looks like the walls have a built-in radio shield.
So that's why Ames lost contact with him.
If you need
Definitely
to confirm his
not.
position, you can log into the
Definitely
node.
not.
Understood.
Locate a
Why don't
remote
you do
control
it?
missile launcher first.
Why don't you do it?
Oops. Alright. So I need to go do that node so I can actually see who's coming for me. Is this electricity? Hey, look, electricity. You want to see Raiden scream? There's Raiden screaming. We're good. Anywho. So yeah, I was talking in Resident Evil. So first Resident Evil game comes out PlayStation and Saturn. Saturn didn't last long. Sega was kind of foolish in the way they handled that. But then the second one came out, it was a huge success, and they started producing 2 more Resident Evil games. but one was 3 and one was a spin-off. And it turns out Nemesis was actually the spin-off. It's kind of a step back in the storyline. Hey, let's see what Jill from the first game's up to. Takes place during the same time as Resident Evil 2 does. And I was thinking that was Nikita. Ooh. Anyways, wow, that jams for a long time. I know there's someone around here somewhere, I just don't know where they are. They might not be in the area yet, that's possible. Anyways, Sony was upset because they were getting the spin-off, and they demanded, like, what are we doing? We basically established your series, so you need to give us the sequel. And so Code Veronica was changed from 3 to a spin-off, and Nemesis was changed to 3. The Code Veronica team was upset because they're like, hey, Nemesis is basically hey, I wonder what this character's up to, whereas our game is an actual, the character from the last game. Let's continue to their next step in the story. Of course, then that eventually got moved over to PlayStation also, so we're good. It's still a PlayStation series despite every entry appearing on other platforms. But then, do I get to swim? I get to swim. It's gonna be a swimming episode. But then, fast forward to like GameCube, Nintendo entered in an exclusive deal with Capcom. And I do not know what happened with this deal, but my word. First, there was the Capcom 5. So there was 5 games being made exclusively for Nintendo. And, okay, this is a good time to call me. Hey, you're underwater. Let me stop you and talk to you for a bit.
Colonel, B1 is completely flooded from what
How
I
are you
can see.
talking?
You'll have to swim through.
Whatever. I'm fine with swimming.
Stroke the water and move forward by pushing the punch button.
I'm fine with swimming.
Push it in rapid succession.
Why would you
to
think
swim
I'm not
faster.
fine with swimming?
Change your heading with the left stick.
That's
Up
right.
will take you up,
Whatever.
down takes you lower.
Whatever.
Left and right to face those
Whatever.
directions. The O2
real.
gauge will appear under your life gauge while
real.
you're underwater. The gauge corresponds to the amount of air you can hold from a single
real.
deep breath. Once the O2
Get
gauge
real.
falls to 0, the life
Get
gauge
real.
will start to drop. You need
Get
to be
real.
aware of that.
So you'll die if you don't breathe. I perhaps wasn't paying attention. I was sitting there jamming the X button like, why am I not swimming? Okay, let's... So what's really fun is there's like landmines down here. Yeah, night vision goggles. That's what I need. Ooh, got a poster. Alright, so anyways, the Capcom 5, and at first it was, like everyone thought it was going to be all exclusive. Like, these are all GameCube and only GameCube games. Then it was apparently clarified, like, oh, no, only Resident Evil 4 is a GameCube exclusive. I'm gonna go back there in a second, I just want some breath. Hey, rubber ducky. You're the one. And apparently, there's a Japanese phrase. This is not a good time to call. I was laughing because there was a
You have the
Raven,
remote-controlled missile. Good job. Now head to the
Good
first
job.
floor of the Shell 2 core. Take out the power source and make
the
contact with the
Vulcan,
president
Reagan, what
before the launch
Reagan,
code can be
Raven.
reconfirmed. Hurry.
the Gatling gun boss from the first game. There was a toy of him. Ugh. Yeah, I'm worried about the breath. I just hit 2 landmines. Where am I? Okay. So anyways, the Japanese have this wonderful phrase, apparently. There's this wonderful way of saying that if something happens, they will quit their job, which is, I will cut my head off. So the guy's like, oh yeah, there was a miscommunication. It's only, it's not the Capcom 5 that's console exclusive. It's only Resident Evil 4. If that ever shows up on another console, I'll cut my head off. That's apparently an actual line from an interview. I think I need to go this way. And so immediately there was issues. Nope. Oh hey, look, stairs. Immediately there was issues. Because they were talking about, you know, besides the Capcom 5, there's also a bunch of exclusive Resident Evil games we're going to do for GameCube. They're like, you know, GameCube is Resident Evil now. Is there buggies? No buggies. And so they're going to do the Resident Evil 1 remake, Resident Evil 0, which is a game that they had been trying to make since the previous generation. And then eventually Resident Evil 4, and they are also going to port over 2, 3, and Code Veronica, so that way on one console you'd have like the entire franchise up to that point, like at least all the actual main games. Because of course there were like spin-offs no one cared about, like Resident Evil Survivor. And so the interviewer did ask, like, why aren't you going to do a remake of like 2 and 3? The answer is basically like, if we do that, then we're gonna have to delay 4 for a long time. Oh. Well, I may have aimed this wrong, so that's not going to go in.
What is that?
What is that? But anyways, yeah, right away, Konami started going back on the deal. Don't run in front of the missile!
What is
Get out of my way! So they made like Resident Evil Outbreak 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 2, and then there was also Dead Aim. And people are like, wait, I thought the GameCube was exclusive, like all Resident Evil on GameCube. Like, oh no, that's just mainline Resident Evils. But spin-offs we can... Oh, wait, what am I doing over here? I need to go for the electric stuff. So, like, spin-offs we can put anywhere we want. And then, like a month before Resident Evil 4 released on GameCube, there's like, oh, and by the way, this is no longer exclusive either. We're putting this on PlayStation 2. And it was basically fan demand and stakeholders or shareholders. Like, yeah, they demand it, so we're doing it. But like, what about your contract with
President
Nintendo?
Johnson.
So you're finally here.
You've been expecting me?
Your equipment, that skull suit isn't exactly standard military issue.
Are you all right, sir?
Is this some kind of sick joke? I thought you came to kill me.
What?
I'm prepared to face the consequences of my betrayal.
What are you... What the...
You're a man? Well, who are you?
Foxhound, sir.
Foxhound? I see. Now things are starting to make a little sense.
Are they now?
Switch over to nano communication so nobody can listen in.
Yes, sir. Do you read me, sir?
Yes.
Mr. President, it's my understanding that the terrorists have managed to input the code sequence necessary for launching a nuclear strike.
That's correct. I punched the sequence in myself.
You're working for them?
If you asked me 2 hours ago, my answer would have been yes. Right now, they're keeping me alive until my vital signs are reconfirmed.
They betrayed you?
I wouldn't quite put it that way. I wanted power. They sought destruction.
But why stoop to terrorism?
I wanted absolute power.
But you're the president. You have power.
No, I'm just a figurehead.
What?
I don't have any control. The real power is in the Patriots' hands.
The Patriots?
The truth behind this country. I'm not surprised you've never heard of them. Very few are aware of their existence, even among those with code word clearance.
Huh?
Politics, the military, the economy, they control it all. They even choose who becomes president. Putting it simply, the Patriots rule this country.
No.
Hard to believe, isn't it? But it's the truth. The space defense, income tax reduction, and national missile defense programs. Every policy that's been credited to me was actually done according to their instructions.
Space defense was initiated by Congress.
That's what the Patriots want the country to believe. It's all a show. Democracy is just a filler for textbooks. Think about it. Do you actually believe that public opinion influences the government?
No.
This country is shaped and controlled as the Patriots see fit.
Definitely not.
The people are shown what they want to believe. What you call government is actually a well-staged production aimed at satisfying the public.
Huh?
Don't look at me like that. I'm legally sane, you know.
It's not your sanity that worries me.
The Patriots. Even I don't know who the actual members are. Are they financial, political, or military leaders? No one knows who the Patriots really are. Even my instructions come from a cutout. All I've been told is that every key decision is made by a group of 12 men, known as the Wise Men's Committee.
Your office? The White House?
Merely puppets, pawns in a game. By pledging my loyalty, an insignificant son of a senator was awarded the presidency. Of course, that wasn't the only price I had to pay.
What do you mean?
Even if a pawn becomes a queen, it is still just a playing piece. I wanted to leave my own mark in history, but my ambitions were... You'll understand someday. I wished to be a member of the Patriots. I wanted to wield the power of a king instead of being an expendable pawn.
And that justifies acts of terrorism?
Yes. I'd intended to use the new Metal Gear as a bargaining chip.
Bargaining chip?
But I underestimated Solidus. He actually wants to challenge the Patriots, even if it means the destruction of the world.
What are you saying?
Whether you believe it or not, the balance of power rests in the hands of the Patriots. They regulate the country's various interests through controlled presentation, staging a drama that is palatable to the general masses. Can you imagine what would happen if they ceased to function? Picture a massive
Definitely
political
not.
vacuum. A space that every powermonger will try to fill for their own greedy ends. I'm talking about an unregulated power struggle. Panic, civil war, chaos. Like it or not, the Patriots is an organization that must continue to exist.
So you changed your mind because you wanted to avoid global chaos.
Exactly.
Whatever.
When I told Solidus that I wished to prevent disaster, he replied that pawns can never become players.
And who is this Solidus?
My predecessor, George Sears. That was the name the public came to know him by. I knew him by his code name, Solidus Snake. He was the third Snake, preceded by Solid and Liquid, a survivor of the Les Enfants Terribles project. Neither solid nor liquid, he was a well-balanced masterpiece that the Patriots saw fit to entrust with the presidency. However, he fell out of grace with the organization 4 years ago. When acting on his own, he started an incident.
4 years ago. Shadow Moses.
That's right. At the time, the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, together with certain influential parties, initiated the development of Metal Gear Rex and an advanced nuclear warhead. However, this did not fall in line with the Patriots' plans. What's more, Solidus decided on his own to send his most trusted man, Ocelot, to provoke Liquid Snake, bringing about the said incident. As a result, he succeeded in obtaining Rex and the data on the warhead. But in doing so, he ended up revealing the existence of both Rex and the Genome Army, a blunder that earned him the wrath of the Patriots. Shortly thereafter, Solidus was removed from the presidential office.
I thought he resigned.
That's the story given to the general
Not a
public.
chance.
Following his resignation,
Not
the
a
Patriots
chance.
selected me, their new pawn for the presidency.
But that would mean that the presidential race was...
That was quite a show, wasn't it? It was a well-scripted drama staged by the Patriots for the benefit of the public. Even the Democrats and Republicans were dancing to the Patriots' tune. Everything went according to plan, but for one exception. Following his
Definitely
resignation,
not.
Solidus' health was scheduled to fail him, bringing about his untimely death.
capped?
Correct. But before the Patriots could execute their plot, Solidus went underground with the help of Ocelot. As he avoided pursuit, Solidus gained control of Dead Cell, winning over Colonel Galukovich's outfit. From there, he bided his time, knowing that his
Definitely not.
opportunity would soon arrive.
What opportunity?
The completion of the new
Get
Metal Gear
real.
project, an opportunity that would even his odds against the Patriots. By stealing the Patriots' most valued project, he would be able to place them in a very uncomfortable position. It's the only chance he has for survival. Once he has the new Metal Gear, he'll declare war against the Patriots.
Not a chance.
Needless to say, he must be stopped.
Metal Gear is already operational.
No, not yet. What you saw was Metal Gear Ray, hijacked 2 years ago from the Marines by Ocelot. That was not the new Metal Gear.
Then where's the new Metal Gear?
Right here.
What?
You're standing in it. To be more precise, this entire big shell facility
real.
is the new Metal Gear.
What'd you say?
No, I'm quite
What you
serious.
say?
The upper
What you talking
structure
about?
that you've seen is camouflage, designed to represent an offshore cleanup facility.
Get real.
The main structure extends from the foundation all the way down to the ocean floor. The connecting elevator is located on the B2 floor of the Shell 1 core. Arsenal Gear. That's the code name for the new Metal Gear.
Arsenal?
That's right. Arsenal. We're talking about an impregnable fortress carrying a load of over a couple of thousand missiles, including nuclear warheads, all protected by a horde of mass-produced Metal Gear Ray units.
Mass-produced?
The Ray unit was originally designed for the Marines to be used as a
Instead of
countermeasure
highlighting
against the
important
Metal
words,
Gear
I just have
variations
write and
throughout
repeat
the
'em.
world. The Patriots had Ray redesigned to protect the new Arsenal gear.
Redesigned.
So now anti-Metal Gears are guarding a Metal Gear.
Ironic, isn't it? That's not all. Arsenal Gear has full access to the military's tactical network, giving it the ability to exercise absolute control over our nation's armed forces, not to mention our nuclear armament. In short, Arsenal was created to be the core of our country.
What kind of idiotic weapon?
Weapon? No. You're not seeing the full picture. Arsenal Gear is more than just a military tool. It is a means to preserve the world as it is. It will establish a new form of control. The Patriots will use it to keep their place as the country's true rulers. Right now, they feel pressured and threatened.
By what? You're not making
They
any
fear
sense.
an overabundance of digital information. The world will drown in the coming flood of information, and they along with it. The Arsenal plans include a system to digitally manage the flow of information, making it possible to shape the truth for their own purposes. In short, the Arsenal
You're not
system
making any sense.
is the key to their supremacy.
The key?
Yes, the GW system is the Patriots' trump card. Arsenal Gear will be fully operational when GW is successfully integrated. Once operational, it will be a completely new form of power for the Patriots to wield. I had hoped to seize the project from them, so that I would be in a strong bargaining position.
Bargain for what?
I'd hoped to trade my way into their ranks, but Solidus preferred rebellion. Outer Heaven, his plan to unleash a nuclear blast over the skies of Wall Street to break the Patriots' control over the business community, is also a key factor in his offensive effort.
Outer Heaven?
Listen, there isn't much time. The football served as the key for activating Arsenal Gear. I've already input the necessary code sequence.
That's going
It
a
won't
bit
be
too
long
far.
before GW begins to establish
You don't say.
connections with other external systems, and Arsenal Gear becomes fully operational. Stop them before that happens. That is your role.
Roll?
You've got to find Emma Emmerich. She's the only one who can stop that thing once it's been activated.
Emma Emmerich?
She's the system programmer for Arsenal Gear. I believe
Why
she's
don't you
somewhere
do
on
it?
level B1 in the core of this building.
I thought the levels below us were flooded.
I'm sure they won't let her die just yet, as she's the only remaining programmer for this project. According to Ocelot, she was being held in a locker room located in the northwest part of level B1. Cut transmission and get moving.
Yes, sir.
This is card 4. It'll give you access all the way to Emma's location. Give this to her when you find her.
What is it?
A program for disrupting the control functions between GW and Arsenal Gear. Take Emma to the computer room on level B2, Shell 1 core. She'll know how to load the program into the main system.
A virus?
That's right, modeled after Foxdie, a biological weapon designed to selectively eliminate personnel with a specific genetic code.
But why do you have it?
The Patriots had it engineered as a failsafe, and Ocelot forgot to search me. You've got to hurry. That disk is the only way you're going to stop Arsenal. Well, I've told you everything you need to know. There's only one thing that remains to be done. Now, kill me.
What the?
There's no time to argue. The final check for my vital ID will start any second. If you kill me now, you'll at least prevent the nuclear strike.
Cut it out!
Do it! That's your role! Oh!
No! Do it!
That's abusing your right to free speech, Mr. President. Or is it ex-president?
The president! Why did you...
Alas, my finger must have slipped. I'll see you around, carrier boy.
Forget him. He did us a favor. Without free will, there is no difference between submission and rebellion. My only real choice is to put an end to this charade. Let me at least have the freedom to end it myself.
What are you...
Find Emma. Stop Arsenal. This is my last order as your commander-in-chief. I'm counting on you.
Well, we might have just failed that mission. I love the reveal that the Solidus snake is George Sears, the previous president. It's like you don't think someone would have noticed, like, hey, that terrorist guy in the huge suit of armor sure looks like the person that was president not too long ago. Just gotta make sure. Yep, he's dead. Check see if there's anything to pick up in here. And alright. Actually did not intend to go out there, but I'm gonna end it here after this conversation. I'm just gonna
the
say
president
that.
is dead.
I see.
Not a
I'm sorry to
chance.
hear that. Where do we
Not a
go
chance.
from
What do you
here?
mean by that?
Your mission was to rescue the president and eliminate the terrorist
Not a
threat.
chance.
However, given the recent turn of events, we will honor the president's last directive. You must put a stop to Arsenal gear once and for all.
Do you actually think there's any truth to his story about this big shell facility being a front for Arsenal gear?
I don't have the security clearance necessary to verify the facts. However, he was the president. I'm sure he knew what he was talking about.
Aren't you forgetting that he was part of the terrorist plot?
All the more reason why I believe his information is reliable.
Huh?
We're talking about a man who chose to die rather than risk a nuclear holocaust. Thanks to his sacrifice, the Nuclear Launch Authority has shifted to the vice president, effectively eliminating the terrorist threat.
Colonel, when you put it like that, it almost sounds like I should have assassinated the president to eliminate the threat.
That was not my intention.
Get real.
I was trying to point out that there is certainly some credibility to the words of a man who chose death to protect the innocent.
The Colonel has a point, Jack.
What about the information he gave me on the
I don't care
Patriots?
about points.
That's a new one on me. I'll
Get
see what I can
real.
find out. Raiden, we're running out of time. Find Emma. She's supposed to be located on level
All right.
B1, in the core of that building you're in, right? You've got to find her before Arsenal becomes fully operational.
Hurry, Jack.
Whatever.
It's up to you to make sure that the president didn't sacrifice his life in vain.
Why don't you do Understood. Raiden out.
My word, how many people do you need to talk to?
What's your status, Raiden?
Get Snake. The president. He's been assassinated.
What?
There was nothing I could do.
What about the nuclear strike code sequence?
He died before his vital ID could be reconfirmed.
Then the enemy's lost their
Get
nuclear
real.
strike capability.
But that Ocelot guy obviously killed the president on purpose.
Why?
It doesn't make any sense. They had to know that they couldn't launch the nuke if they killed the president.
Maybe there's a way to launch without
Get real.
reconfirming the vital ID.
Get
Or
real.
maybe they found a more effective weapon within
real.
Arsenal gear.
You knew about Arsenal gear?
Yeah,
Why didn't you tell me about it?
you never asked.
Am I correct in assuming you also know that the big shell's a front for the project?
You mean, did I know that the Big Shell, a fully functional environmental cleanup facility, was designed to camouflage Arsenal gear? Yeah, I did. It's exactly what the President and Ames described, a massive cover story.
Definitely
The good news is that it hasn't really done much in terms of cleaning up the environment, so we won't have to worry about any toxic gas being released if we have to blow the house down.
Right. And when did you find out about all of this?
It took a while, but we uncovered the info around the time you took out that mad bomber. There's no doubt that Arsenal gear is being built here. And it was all set up 2 years ago, on that day. All of it.
2 years ago. What really happened here?
I took these photos 2 years ago.
I know these pictures. They were on the news on several websites. If I remember right, the reporters blamed you for sinking the tanker.
That's right. Otacon, me, we were used.
We'd hoped that by going public with photos of the new Metal Gear, we could persuade the government. At least that was the plan at the time.
I've gone through VR training of the tanker mission before.
Yeah? Well, I doubt it accurately simulates the events of that mission. I'd infiltrated the dummy tanker to obtain proof that a Metal Gear was under development. Shortly after I made it aboard, an armed group led by Colonel Gerlukovich raided the ship and gained control.
Olga and Ocelot were among the raiding party.
Yeah, and him.
Who are you talking about?
A man that was supposed to be dead.
Their target was also Metal Gear Ray. But Ocelot eliminated Colonel Gerlukovich and Marine Commander Scott Dolph, and he hijacked Ray.
So he betrayed them?
I don't know what kind of deal was going down. All I remember is what Ocelot said at the time. Something like, "I'm taking it back."
Ocelot then sank the tanker, along with the soldiers of the Marine Corps.
How did you manage to get out?
Otacon managed to have a small boat ready for me.
That was the easy part. The
Not a
tough part was
chance.
not getting dragged down with the sinking tanker. Small miracle.
I think I've
when you
almost
think
fallen
about it.
asleep during
It
this
turned out that
conversation
the
like
whole
3
thing was a
times.
setup to lure us. Photos of Snake, taken by the Cypher, were released to the public. In turn, we became the world's most wanted environmental terrorists.
It was definitely a move aimed at putting a stop to our anti-Metal Gear activities.
But why did they choose Snake?
Since the Shadow Moses incident, Snake became sort of a hero. I think the Patriots weren't too happy about that.
You knew about the Patriots?
Well, yes, to a certain degree.
It seems like everyone knows about them except me.
They didn't choose Snake to be a hero.
So they decided to do a smear campaign.
I think the Patriots wanted to make an example of him so everybody would think twice before opposing them.
That's it! They set all this up just to nail you guys.
No, there's more to it than that. The Marines' Metal Gear Ray project, headed by Commander Dolph, was carried out in opposition to the Navy's Arsenal Gear project. To be more precise, the Patriots considered Metal Gear Ray to be a thorn in their side. Hence, they attacked the dummy tanker and stole Ray. They followed this up with a perfect plan. They immediately sent a fully loaded tanker to the same location and sank it. Then set up the facility to camouflage the development of Arsenal Gear.
And we fell for it. 2 more puppets in their show.
Colonel Gerlukovich and his daughter Olga?
Both fell victim to Ocelot's plot.
Was Solidus behind all this? He used Ocelot to get hold of Ray, huh?
No, he was underground, keeping a low profile at the time.
Then it must be the Patriots.
If that's the case, what's Ocelot doing alongside Solidus?
Forget it. We're wasting time. We can figure this out later. The nuclear strike's been prevented, but Arsenal still has a massive payload of missiles to deal with.
Right. If the opposition gets control of those missiles.
Raiden, you've got to find Emma.
Wait a second. Isn't Emma Emmerich?
My sister.
What's she doing here?
You got me. She's a computer whiz who specializes in neural AI and ultra-variable volume data analysis using complex logic. How she got involved in weapons development is beyond me.
Whatever her reasons, we need her in order to stop Arsenal.
Raiden, find her.
I'm on my way.
All right. Well, if you're still here, thank you for joining me on this wonderful journey. Wasn't expecting so many cutscenes at the end, but that's fine. Hope you had fun. Oh, I know I did. Until next time, my dear friends. Until next time.